Hi, thanks for joining me today for this week's Yin Yoga. We're going to do something a little bit different today, so bring your mats up to a spare blank piece of wall. You might also want to grab a bolster or a pillow and a couple of blocks or something that you can use for the same thing. We're going to get started. This is something that you can use if you've had a busy week, you're feeling a bit stressed and overwhelmed. It's just a really nice relaxing way to regulate the body, regulate the nervous system. So we're going to straight away bring ourselves to legs up the wall. An easy way to get into this is just to bring your hip close to the wall and then swivel round. Okay, so get yourself comfortable. You can have a soft bend to your knees, heels resting gently on the wall. We're just going to bring ourselves into a nice calm space. Starting to incorporate Ujjayi breathing, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. If you feel the need, you can move your feet side to side, knees one out and then the other. Getting nice movement through the hips and through the joints. Start to wiggle your toes, flex one foot, point the other. Really encouraging blood flow. And just relax here, just for a few breaths, breathing at your own tempo. Feeling all the points of contact, your feet touching the wall, your hips and back touching the floor. Okay, now from here we're going to come into a figure four at the wall. So you might find that you need to move your hips further away from the wall to get into this. That's fine, you can just wiggle down your mat. Bend your left knee, placing the foot flat on the wall. And if you can, bring your right foot to your left knee. You'll see what I mean about the space here. If you find that you can't bring your foot here or that you're all hiked up, move your hips and your back lower and further away from the wall. Otherwise, get into a comfortable position, letting your elbows rest on the floor. You can use your right hand to push your right knee gently away from you, and that just increases the stretch through the right hip. And rock from side to side, just flossing through that muscle. Then try and settle into a place of stillness. We're just going to stay here for about a minute longer. We have about 20 seconds left here. You can start to move again, rocking from side to side. And bringing your right foot back to the wall. Maybe just scooching in closer to the wall before we come into our next pose. Bringing your feet together and letting them come low down to the wall. So your feet are really close to your hips. And then just letting your legs open out, feet together. So now we're in a butterfly at the wall. So while you're here, just experiment with rolling your pelvis forward. So you're creating a gap underneath your back. And then rolling it back and tucking the hips. Just seeing if you can really articulate through the spine. Just getting everything nice and lubricated. Then coming to a space about halfway between the two. Again, you can rest your hands on your legs, just opening the hips more. Or you can rest your hands on the floor. If this feels intense, feel free to bring your legs a little bit higher up. Or again, if you want more, you can just shuffle closer to the wall. And that just pushes you into a deeper opening. And come to your space of stillness again. Maybe closing your eyes. We're just going to deep breathe here. Got about 3 more deep, slow breaths here. And then gently start to bring your knees together, bringing your legs back up the wall. Shaking that out a little bit. Put a lot of work through the hips. Maybe turning your feet out and in again. Okay, and then once again, push yourself gently, slightly away from the wall so that we can get the other side with that figure 8. So this time, you want your right foot flat on the wall, left foot onto your knee or thigh. You might find that one side's tighter than the other. That's normal. Just adjust yourself so that you're not pushing too far. Once you get into a comfortable position, you can always work on moving a bit closer to the wall, moving further away, just seeing what differences that brings up in your body. Using your left hand to prop that knee up. Rolling side to side. Feeling where you're the tightest. Letting your shoulders relax. Coming to stillness once again. We're just going to hold this. Closing your eyes, deep breathing, letting gravity do the work. Letting the presence of the wall open your hips for you. We've got about 20 more seconds, starting to bring that movement back in. Uncrossing your leg. You can bring your knees into your chest just for a second, rocking side to side, releasing your lower back. Well done. We're just going to bring ourselves closer to the wall again. This can be a bit awkward. Just shuffle yourself down as best you can. And bringing your legs back up the wall. Now all we're going to do is just bring the feet about hip distance apart and start to slide the feet down the wall. And you can start to open them even wider and just bring them to either side of your hips. You can come up onto your toes slightly so that your hips don't lift. Hold onto your knees and just pull them to either side of you, rocking side to side. So this is a bit of a happy baby variation. If you want to come into full happy baby, please do. You can just raise one leg and then the other. Hold on to the outside or inside of the feet and just rock gently from side to side. Otherwise, if you'd like to stay at the wall, really working on elongating the spine, opening the groin, rocking side to side gently. You might feel that staying here for a little while, your hips start to open even more. You can use your hands as weights, opening up the groin and your hips, releasing any tension you might have stored there during the day. Bringing that gently together, knees into the chest, and then bringing your feet back up the wall. Lovely. Okay, so to finish, we're going to keep our legs up the wall like this, but we're going to bring a bit more comfort into this position. So you can grab a bolster. I quite like a block in this position, or a pillow, or anything you have to hand. You're just going to shuffle in closer to the wall and just gently raise your hips, letting them fall back down. So the block should be just underneath your sacrum, so just basically above your butt crack. That should take a little bit of pressure off and feel really good. Should feel like a position that you can lay here in our final relaxation. If at any point this feels uncomfortable, again, you can just bring your knees in. That sometimes feels really nice. Or you can roll off to the side and do a traditional Shavasana. Whatever you like. We're just going to settle down, let our shoulder blades roll together underneath our backs. Letting all the energy drain out of your legs. As you're laying here, you can feel all of the points of contact on the floor. Just try and think about where you can feel the differences in your body from where you started. Can you feel that your hips feel looser? Can you feel that you've got rid of some of that tension and stress? You maybe feel more energized or more relaxed. So stay here as long as you like. If you're following along with me, we're going to gently come out of this position. You're going to bring your feet to the wall and gently lift your hips to move your block one side or the other, and let yourself roll down. Knees into the chest and just roll one side or the other, coming into your little fetal position. And then gently bringing yourself back up to seated, wherever's comfortable for you. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this practice. This can be a really beautiful thing to do if you've been on your feet all day, or conversely if you've been sitting at a desk. It's really lovely to bring out your hips, drain your lymphatic system, and just get yourself feeling really comfortable and ready for the evening. So if you've liked this, please drop me a like and follow. You can follow me on Instagram or TikTok. Thank you for joining me. I hope to see you again next week. Namaste.